I am an acupuncturist and I've been in practice for 17 years. But do a film, a documentary on a Chinese doctor specializing in cancer treatment? My teacher always said, never say you treat cancer. You might upset the cancer establishment. This film documents what unfolded. Fire and water, yang and yin. A moxa box. This is a moxa box. It contains fire. The herb moxa is burned to stimulate healing, in this case, over the belly in a box. Moxa is mentioned as a healing herb in the most ancient known book of Chinese medicine, the Neijing. In fact, that book is said to have been so old as to have been written by the Yellow Emperor, one of the mythical sage kings of China. The fire of moxa, the first of 8 therapies that Dr. Ma uses for his cancer treatment in Mountain View, California, brings healing energy or qi to the whole body. The second of 8 therapies is acupuncture. Acupuncture needles also date way back, and it's thought at first they were made of stone or perhaps bone, and now they're made of sterile stainless steel. They're inserted at various points on the body in order to access the energy of the universe into the body, to move stagnant energy around the body, or to tonify the body in particular ways, strengthen the body. Another of Dr. Ma's therapies is the use of herbs in a what's called a patent form, meaning the herbs are made into either pills or capsules. And the herbs that are used are usually part of the natural world, rocks, grass. These patent herbs are actually the part of Dr. Ma's work which are very specific to the anti-cancer portion of his work. Another modality in Dr. Ma's 8 therapies is the use of herbal plasters. And he grinds up a wide variety of herbs which have a diversity of functions. Chinese medicine herbs, sometimes they move the energy, sometimes they calm the energy, sometimes they warm the energy, sometimes they cool the energy. He has a common plaster that he uses which contains all of those herbs. And he will place it on a particular part of the body, and the patient will do so at home. And they will put a hot water bottle over that plaster, and it will allow those herbs to seep into the body. So that's another component of his 8 therapies. Another component of Dr. Ma's work is the boiling of herbs, meaning he will give the patient a package of herbs, and the patient will then boil those herbs over a flame and make them into a tea. The relationship between food and herbs in Chinese medicine is a very interesting one, because the Chinese cuisine uses a lot of things in cooking that we might consider herbs to be used for medicine. And there are many things we commonly use in our Western lives, like cinnamon, cardamom, spring onion, pepper, mint, or chrysanthemum, which are very specific Chinese herbs that have very specific functions. So in the decoctions and teas that Dr. Ma has people boil up, those herbs will be contained in that. And they are very closely related to food therapy. Now, food therapy is another of Dr. Ma's therapies for cancer. In specific, he talks about the 5 colors. The 5 colors that he encourages people to use when they do their detoxification blending at night. That's really an example of the emphasis that classical Chinese medicine places on balance. Green for the liver, red for the heart, yellow for the spleen, white for the lung, and black for the kidney, and encourages every patient to detoxify their body in the evening after the sun is going down, to detoxify their body by using a blender or a food processor, a juicer actually is what he uses. He has them use a juicer to grind up a little bit of vegetable or fruit from each of those colors and drink just a half cup every night after the meal. And his view of detoxification is that the pollutants of the day, the air pollution we've experienced, our muscles, which have left lactic acid and all those other things in our body, our food, which is partially digested, all of those things need a little push at the end of the day to clear out so that at the end of the day, our body's clean and clear for the night's sleep. So there's food therapy, there's the boiling of herbs, there's the psychology, which Dr. Maas stresses, of being calm, of being happy, of finding a way or going to a place, going to be with people with whom you feel comfortable and happy. That helps the body calm down. So how do you be happy? Does he have a prescription for that?
Oh, how to be happy?
Does he have a prescription for that?
Well, I think I'm a lot more relaxed after we moved to Taiwan, and I exercise a lot because we live right next to the university over there. So I walk over there, and they have performances I attend, and I take up Chinese brush painting that I really like. And it's just my husband and I, and we don't know anybody there. So when we went there, it's just like a extended vacation every day for me.
He sort of somehow reprogrammed my brain to be able to relax and enabled me to sleep. And my sleeping was taking place here. And after I relearned how to relax and sleep, after a period of time, it took several months, I was able to start sleeping at home. But there was that period there where I could not rest. And then he taught me how to rest. You know, he puts on this lovely Chinese music. He puts the moxa on me, puts my needles in, and I go to sleep. And I have never had anxiety or stress during my treatment. I always feel a very deep relaxation, almost meditation here. So it's enabled me to go someplace in my mind that I was not able to go to before. So, you know, I'm sure the mind-body connection is working. And it's not just that he's doing physical treatment on me, because I know that my brain and my body are starting to work together to feel good.
Dr. Maas Therapies, again, is an ancient form. It is a form called Qigong, but it's his own special form that he integrates with the use of acupressure, that is, pressing on certain key acupuncture points in the body. It helps move the qi or energy of the body through all the meridian systems. Dr. Maas Therapy begins with the rubbing of the hands together, experiencing the warmth in the hands, the qi of the hands, which is warm. And as the hands slowly move apart, one can begin to feel an energy, the invisible but tangible energy, which Chinese medicine calls qi, and which Chinese medicine describes as the source of healing, the source of all movement and growth and change, the presence of life. One feels that energy like a ball between the hands. The second part of the Qigong involves placing a finger on each of 8 acupuncture points. He begins with the heart point on the palm. 10 circular pressures that are clockwise, and then 10 circular pressures that are counterclockwise on the hand. Both hands, one after the other. And now he's moving to Pericardium 6, or Neguan, on the wrist. This point is actually a famous point right now in our Western culture. It's being used to avert seasickness. Little bands with knobs that press this point are sold all the time to avert seasickness and car sickness. Whether we know it or not, this comes directly out of Chinese medicine. The question is, why was I, as a Chinese medicine practitioner myself for 17 years now, why was I nervous at the beginning? And why do I feel comfortable now, having seen him work, having talked to him, having talked to his patients? Dr. Ma does not pit himself against Western medicine. Dr. Ma works in conjunction with Western medicine. Dr. Ma is a Chinese medicine practitioner, but he is completely comfortable with his patients' Western medicine treatments, and he has a wide variety of patients who do many different types of treatments. Comparing Western medicine and Chinese medicine, we can think of Western medicine as an experimental, modern medicine that looks at the microcosm, and it looks at the microcosm very effectively. It can find a tumor. It can pinpoint a tumor with radiation. If we look at Chinese medicine and what Dr. Ma is bringing, we see an ancient medicine based on Chinese philosophy and natural science, as opposed to experimental science of Western medicine. So there we see two complementary approaches, the microcosm and the macrocosm, in which Dr. Ma looks at the entire spectrum of the patient's life through his 8 therapies. Moxibustion, that's fire in the box. Acupuncture, 2 kinds of herbs, one of which is boiled and one of which is pills. Plasters, which are put on the body in order to provide heat and then some kind of stimulation within the body. And then we look at food therapy, we look at the psychology aspect, and finally we look at the Qigong. All 8 of those modalities are from classic Chinese medicine. So what we see in Dr. Ma is someone who is practicing very traditional Chinese medicine on people who are very sick.
Having a nice doctor, or a doctor that you have confidence in, I think is so important. I guess that's with any doctor, but especially in Chinese medicine, since it's not scientifically really proven, a lot is by testimony or referral, then you have to have the confidence in him.
Well, thank you.
The first, most dramatic thing I noticed was after my second treatment, driving home, I had no leg pain.
Wow.
It had stopped, and it never came back. And then he started using, both what he calls tang yao, which are the fresh herbs that I boil every day, and then I drink that, in addition to the wan zi yao, the pill form that he gives that are very concentrated anti-cancer fighters. Mm-hmm. So I've been taking a series of both the fresh herbs and the preserved herbs for 2.5 years. Every scan has been clean. Wow. And I've just made a complete recovery. So, I was a case that was almost considered hopeless. And when I came to him, I had no expectations. I had no idea what he could do, if he could do anything for me. And every time I go back for a checkup, they see how good I look, and they just are flabbergasted. And they know. I mean, I do not hide the fact that I take Chinese medicine and I'm under Dr. Ma's treatment from my Western doctors. I think they need to know. I want them to know. I want them to spread the word. I want other people to be able to benefit from this